Robert J. McHugh, 46 years this September, 1972. Well, there was one that was leaving as Mr. Bonner and Mr. Cutney. He was coming in at the time. Basically, I heard it from somebody that they were hiring down here for a police department, and I filled out an application and I went through the academy, and it's all history since then. Then I think it was about 6 weeks. I started here when I was 22, and my next birthday I'll be 69. Well, basically when I go down to main campus, the lights, everything's lit up at night. And when I was working down there back in the 70s and 80s and early 90s, it was dark. When it got dark at night, it was it. Everybody left because it was so dark down there. Now it's lit up like, you know, like a Christmas tree down there.
Hey, my name is Telesia Roberts. My position is accreditation manager as we journey through this accreditation process, and I've been here since 1980. Andrew Cutney was in charge when I first came here. Somewhat like you, Julian. At first I started off as a student worker in the captain's office doing clerical work, and then I graduated and I left the university. And I came back to the department and began as a security officer, I think for about a year. Got promoted to a law enforcement police officer, and I've been here ever since. What I've experienced as a law enforcement officer as well as a supervisor is that the role of a law enforcement officer has continued to evolve. And in saying that is that many of the incidents and experiences that you will encounter is that we wear many hats, and such as 1 minute we're the police officer, we find ourselves being a mental health worker, we find ourselves being a social worker, a parent, a teacher. So any given point in time we're flipping hats. But more importantly, I feel that society as a whole really doesn't understand it precisely what the role of a law enforcement officer is. So we're looking for someone to solve the problem they call their local law enforcement officer, and sometimes it doesn't fall in the realm of law enforcement, but we're always here to service people and to help people. So we find ourselves overstretching our boundaries and our resources just to make it happen for people, because people are human and they need help.
My name is Irvin Martez. I'm a security officer. It'll be 30 years in May the 15th. Mr. Bush was the deputy director, and Mr. Gervais, I think, was the director. And Blackwell was the deputy director of the hospital. I started in '89. Got a phone call from a co-worker that worked with me, and he told me they were hiring for security officers that were bound to be police officers if you come in, so I just took a shot and got an interview. The only changes that I see is that we've grown. We're a little larger than usual. Our communication is a little bit better. Our radio system is a little better, and that's about it right there.
Okay, I'm Charlie Leone, the Executive Director and Chief of Police at Temple University for Public Safety. I've been here 33 years. I started in 1985 as a young 22-year-old. Well, as a kid needing a job. Went to school here for a short time, a little over a year and a half, and then unfortunately ran out of some funds. Had to leave and had to get a job because my mom was working in a factory and didn't have a lot of money, and my dad wasn't here. So, over time I had to find a full-time employment, looked around, worked other places, and then Temple had an opportunity here and came back here because as a student here I had an opportunity of working as a student worker, so I knew the place. And I knew there were some real friendly faces here, one being Eileen Bradley, of course, who helped me get my student worker job. So I came to work and started here not realizing that it was going to blossom into such a career, and I got bit by the Temple bug and haven't looked back and don't regret a moment, and just loved every bit about being here for 33 years. I think I don't want to say just one particular story. The things that I cherish the most here is the opportunity that I've had to personally and professionally develop, and a lot of that had to do with the men and women that work here. That I've gotten some great relationships. I've gotten some amazing mentoring done here. from my supervisors to the leadership that was here, that, you know, as I grew through the ranks, and just always had the blessing of a lot of folks here that helped me grow, and that's my biggest, you know, takeaway.